Welcome to the AnyWare Apps podcast segment in the American Business Podcast. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for your support. My name is Kevin Deveci, your host. AnyWare Apps are business software products designed for small, mid-size, and enterprise organizations to digitize, automate, and transform business processes. These are modern systems. They are easy to use, quick to deploy, and easy to learn. Today, I have a guest in AnyWare Apps podcast episode. Sydney Paiko is with us. Sydney will perform a demonstration, and you'll see one of the AnyWare Apps products in action, and you'll learn about features and benefits of the software. Sydney, if you are ready, please take over the screen and perform your demonstration. Appreciate it.
Hello, I'm Sydney Pacheco, a pre-sales software specialist at AnyWare Apps. Thank you for having me on the AnyWare Apps podcast today. I'm going to be walking you through the Social CRM Anywhere, which is a AI-powered marketing management software that makes it easy to streamline and automate the management of your company's contacts, pipelines, campaigns, and much more. So let's get started. When you first open up the CRM, you're brought to this ecosystem. And the ecosystem is going to be the home to all of your contacts. So as you can see here, it'll show you names, their phones, their emails, and more information. If you wanted to manage your fields, you could also toggle some more information, such as additional email, valid WhatsApp information, other general information, such as their country or their time zone, which might be useful. And you just click what you want to appear. And you could also untoggle certain fields, such as the business name or when it was created. And if you just press apply, then it will update accordingly. You can also perform bulk actions on your contacts. So if you were to select multiple contacts, as you can see up here, you get all of these different quick actions that you can perform. You can export your contacts, trigger an automation, send emails, add tags, delete, and more. So I'm just going to do one as an example. So let's say I want to add a tag. You would say what the name of the action is called. For this example, I'm adding a tag. So I want all of them to be a follow-up tag. And once you add the tags, it'll say success, and you can check on your progress, and it's going to bring you to this actions tab. And this shows all of your past bulk actions. So you have a nice little audit log. You can also filter through this field by using the advanced filters button. So in this advanced filters pop-up, you can filter by specific criteria. So let's say you wanted to filter by a pipeline. You can look that up here to quickly get it to show up. And you can say what the pipeline you want to filter by is. So let's say you want it to be the marketing pipeline. You would apply that filter, and then only the contacts that are under that specific pipeline will then be shown. And if you wanted to then get rid of those filters, you can clear all filters because, for example, you can apply multiple filters, as you can see here. So you could either clear all of the filters you've created, or if you just want to remove a specific one, you would press remove filter. So that removes one, and then this clears all of them. You just press apply, and then your list is back to normal. You can also sort by specific criteria. So it'll have this drop-down menu of different criteria you could sort by. Let's say you wanted to sort by the first name of your contacts. As you can see, now they're all going to be in alphabetical order by their first name. And similarly, you can clear the sorting fields. You can also go in and click the headers of the different columns to sort by them. Up here, you can bulk import your contacts, or you can individually add a contact. So if you go in here, they'll have all of these different steps that you could follow. So I'll just show you quickly. It has this here. You would just put the CSV file that you want to upload of all of your different contacts. And after you upload that file, it'll bring you to this map step, and you have to map the columns to the fields. And then you finally just verify. So you make sure that all of the mappings were correct. The system will also let you know if there's anything wrong that you could quickly go in and fix before performing the bulk upload. And you verify one last time to confirm that everything looks right. And then you would just finish the upload, and then all of your contacts will be uploaded for you. You also, in the ecosystem, have a companies tab, This, similar to your contacts list, will just show all the different companies that are a part of your CRM. You can add a company up here, and you can manage the fields and search through the fields in the same way. I also forgot to mention we have the search bar, which I'll show you in the contacts list. But we have this search bar that you can search for your contacts. Finally, in the ecosystem, you can look at specific details within a contact and perform specific actions on that contact. So if you click on your contact, it'll bring you to this page here. On the left side, you're just going to see all of the different contact information. In the middle, you'll see your history with that contact. So as you can see on March 3rd, this contact was in a marketing pipeline and someone updated this contact's opportunity information. And you can see all of that information if you scroll up here. On the bottom middle, this is where you can communicate with your contact. So for example, this contact has an email connected to them. So I could send out an email if I would like, and I already have a draft started up. You can CC anyone on the email. You also have formatting options. You can insert a snippet. I'll go more into depth with the snippets later. You can add a link, you can add an image, and you can add custom values. And then on the right side, you have all of your activity with that contact. You'll have any tasks. You'll have notes, any appointments, documents, payments, as well as associations, all that have to do with that specific contact. So you have all this information right here at your fingertips. And that's pretty much everything for the ecosystem section. Let's move on to the chat section. So in the chat section, this is where you will manage all of your different conversations through the CRM. So on the left side, you can filter through your different chats based on if they were unread, recent, and more. Over here, you can search through your chats. You can also perform bulk actions on your messages, such as marking them as read and more. You can view all your message history up here, and you can write your messages down here. You'll see all of your related information for that contact here. You can put do not disturb for any messages from that specific contact. You can add any tags. You can also view any appointments with that contact, any opportunities, tasks, and notes. Over in the chat section, we also have these templates, and these are going to be those snippets that I was talking about earlier. So for example, if you have a certain message that you know you tend to send quite a bit, you can create a new snippet over here by pressing new snippet, and you can either add a text snippet or an email snippet. So I'll add an email snippet. And then you would just set the name of the snippet, the subject, and you would write out the snippet message here. So for example, if I said, hello world, it'll show you what the snippet would look like in a preview on the right side. And you can also send a test. And once everything looks good, you can press save. And then anyone with access to that snippet could then use that in their messages in the future, just to make things quicker and more standardized. And then we have this links tab. So this is where you can add any links that you might end up attaching to your different chats. And it'll show you the name, the URL, the link key that you would insert into your messages, and the date that it was added. Moving on to time management. This is going to be where you obviously manage your time. So it'll show you a calendar with any appointments or blocked slots. Well, if I wanted to create a new blocked slot, I would just set the calendar, the name, and the time zone that it would be set to, as well as the start time and the end time. So let's say I wanted to do that. I'd block the time, and it'll show up here. Also, this will be two-way integrated with any calendars that you might end up linking to the CRM. So let's say you connected this to your Google Calendar. If you accepted or sent out an appointment through your Google Calendar, that will also reflect on the CRM. You can view your calendar in a weekly view, a daily view, or a monthly view. You can also look at a list view of your appointments, and you can look at all of your canceled appointments and then just all of your appointments in total. And you can change the status of your different appointments as well. You can search through them, and you can also create your own custom appointment lists if these ones that are provided don't match some of your business requirements. Moving on to projection. This is going to be where you manage all of your different pipelines and opportunities. So first, I just want to show you how you would create a pipeline in the first place. So if you wanted to create a pipeline, you just do that here. I'll call it sales pipeline, or I'll just call it sales. And then it'll show all of the different stages for that pipeline. You can add a stage using this add button. I'm just going to call this stage. And as you can see, you can move your different stages around by dragging and dropping them in case you don't like the order. And you can include in the reports on those stages, whether you want a funnel chart report or a stage distribution. You can also delete the stages. And once everything looks good, you just press create. And once it's been created, it'll show up here. And then you could go back to the projections tab. And if you wanted to edit that specific pipeline, you would go to this drop-down menu and you just click on the pipeline that you want to edit. And you can either add an opportunity from scratch, or you can bulk import your opportunities once again using a CSV file. You could also just add an opportunity up here. So you would just choose the contact name from this drop-down menu, which will include all your contacts from your CRM. And then whatever information doesn't get autofilled, you can add that. You can also add or edit any of these other fields. Let's say I know the opportunity value is set for $10,000 right now. You just set that. You could assign an owner to the opportunity. You can add any followers as well. And you can do all that information here. And once everything looks good, you press create. And it'll say successfully created. And you would then go back to your pipeline. As you can see, it shows up here. And it'll show you some quick information such as the business name and opportunity value. You could manage the information that shows up on these little contact cards as well. So if you go to manage fields, let's say you also wanted to view other details, like when it was created, you could apply that and it'll just apply to all of your pipelines. And as you can see, your created on value will then show. You have these quick little actions you can do from your different opportunity cards. So you could call them, view any conversations, you can tag them. You have all these quick actions you could do here. I'm going to go to a different pipeline just to show you the bulk actions you could do. So you could just click all of these contacts. And let's say you wanted to edit the pipeline that these contacts are in. Let's say I want them all to be in sales and I want them to all be contacted. I'll just press save and confirm. And if I go back to the sales pipeline, as you can see, all of these contacts were bulk moved here. You can also check this actions tab and it'll show you all of the bulk actions that you completed for your projections. You can also view your opportunities in a list view if you would like. You can also use advanced filters, just like I showed you before in the ecosystem section. Something else that you could do is drag and drop the opportunities on the grid view. You can drag and drop them to lost, abandoned, or won. You can also drag and drop them to different stages. And you can click into your opportunities. So when you click into your different opportunities, it'll show you an overview of the opportunity details. You can from here book or update any appointments with that opportunity. You can assign tasks, notes. You can add payment types to that opportunity. And you can also add any associated objects. That's about everything under projections. Now let's look at docs and collections. Under Docs and Collections, this is where you'll be managing your invoices and estimates, your documents and contracts, any orders, subscriptions, and more. The first thing you're obviously going to want to do is integrate a payment gateway. You can do that by going to this Integrations tab. And as you can see, we have a large selection of different payment providers that you could integrate with. If you press search for more, it'll show you even more that you could integrate with. We have a really long list. And you can integrate with multiple different providers as well. Under invoices and estimates, this is where you'll be managing your invoices and estimates. It'll give you a quick summary of the different cumulative values of, for example, your drafts, the due invoices and estimates, any invoices received, and invoices overdue. Down here, it'll give you a list of all of your different invoices and estimates. We also have recurring invoices. These are any invoices that would be recurring. You can click into your invoices. It'll bring you to this page. So you can edit any of your invoices by editing these fields on the left side, and then a preview of your edits will show up on the right side. You would just set the item name, the price, the quantity. You can choose to add tax. You can also add more. You don't have to just do one item. So let's say I wanted to add a coffee mug. It'll automatically input its price, its quantity, and more. Down here, you can add a discount or you can add any tax, and then it'll show you the overall amount due. Since this is a recurring invoice, you would also have to set this information. So you would set how often the invoice recurs. Then you would set the start date. So here the start date is in the past. So I'm just going to move it up here and then it will look correct. And you can set when it ends. So if I wanted to end by a certain date, I would do that. You can send the invoice however many days in advance you would like, and you have these additional options to add on to the invoice, like terms and conditions, which you would just write out here. You can charge late fees, you can include tipping, or you can add attachments. You would just upload those attachments here. Once everything looks good, you can save. You could also preview. You can manage auto payments. You can convert it to a template. I'm just going to go back. And then they will all show up over here. You also, of course, have your templates. So here's where you can actually create an invoice template. You just press new template. So I'm just going to make it an invoice template. And then you would set, so let's say I wanted a template for a coffee mug invoice. I just press save. So then you'll have all of your templates listed here. And if you ever wanted to use that template, you would press use template and you can either use it as a one-time invoice or as a recurring invoice. And once you click that, then you would just set who the specific customer that you're sending it to, and you can save, or you can send it, or you could copy and mark as sent. Under documents and contracts, on this first page, you can look at all of your drafts, any documents and contracts that are waiting for others, completed, ones that have payments, and ones that are archived. You could either create a new document from scratch, or you can upload an existing PDF and then edit it using our editor. Or you could import from a template library. I always suggest use our template library because we have so many different templates to choose from. So for example, let's say I wanted to create a document or contract for a car wash company. I would just choose that template. So once the editor is open, it'll bring you to this page here. In the middle, you'll just have a preview of what the document looks like, and you can scroll through it. If there's any specific element you want to edit, you can click into one of the elements. So for example, I want to edit this text to be pink instead. We do that. Over here on the left side, you can add an element. So let's say I wanted to add a page break. I can do that here. And as you can see, a page break appears here. You can add an element into that page break or into any of the pages. So let's say I wanted to add this. I can then select the date here. You can really add any elements you want. And once everything looks good, you can either preview it, or you can press save, or you can just send the document right away. We also have payment settings that you can add in. You can enable direct payment. You can also add who the recipients would be, or you have further settings over here. Yeah, once everything looks good, you would just then press save or send, depending on what you want. I'm just going to go back. Under orders, you can similarly look at all of your orders. We also have this collections tab. This is where you'll create any payment links. You can click into them, and then you can just edit your payment links. You would change any of these fields here. You can enter a coupon code, and it'll just show you what the payment link would look like. And then you can copy or send it. You can preview it, or you can save. Under this products tab, this is where you can add the different products that you might want to include in your invoices or any other documents. You can import it as a CSV, import from Stripe, or you could just create it from scratch. You would put in the product information, you would set the pricing, you would add any variants like sizes or color, and then you can set your search engine listing. And then you would just press save, or you could discard if you don't want it. but if you press save, then the new product would show up here. So now I wanted to move on and show you the Marcom. Marcom is just short for marketing communications. This is where you'll manage your social media posts as well as your social media campaigns, your email posts and campaign. You have the ability to create snippets for your posts over here. You also have the ability to create any links that you want to embed in your posts. You have a brands board. You have a little design kit that you can create. So you can either create one from scratch or choosing from our different design kit templates. The brand boards will allow you to have a cohesive look. So first, under social media management, these are all the different social media platforms that you can connect to. You can connect to an unlimited amount of accounts. So for example, let's say you have 3 Instagram accounts you wanted to connect to. You could do that if you desired, and then you can connect any of these other accounts as well. Under Planner, it'll show you all of your different planned posts with their captions, any media, status, and more. You can also look at your planner in a calendar view. You can view the calendar by month or by week. We also allow you to filter through your planned content by content type, status, and more. If you wanted to create a new post, you would just press new post here. You can either create a post from scratch, or you can upload from a CSV, use a social media planner template. You can use Content AI. You can also post a category key. You have all these options here. So let's say I just want to create a new post. You can post to 1 or more social media accounts. It doesn't just have to be one. You can either type in content from scratch, or you can use the AI to generate your content with AI. So I'll show you how to do that here. You can set your tone of voice. I want to be friendly today. And the key message for your social media post, let's say you're celebrating the 10th anniversary of the company opening. For the goal, it could just be celebrating. I'll just say celebration. And you can set the number of variants. You also have additional options down here. So you can set your target audience. You can have additional instructions for the social media post as well. And then you just press generate. And as you can see, it'll come up with these different variations for your posts. And you can choose which one you want to go with. Let's say I want to do the second one. First, let me just clear this because it'll automatically copy and paste the first variation. And then you just copy in the second variation, and all of that will show up here. You can also edit the chosen content. Let's say you don't want to have any emojis in your posts, you can delete those. And you can also rate the AI content. That way it can be refined for the future. Right now, the posts on the right are looking a little bit sad without any images. So you can also upload an image from the media storage, or you can create an image with AI. So let's say I want to add this image. You would just insert that file, and then it'll show up on your post. You can also add a follow-up comment if you would like. You have these advanced options like applying a watermark. You can set the social category and set any social tags. For Pinterest, you would have to select the board that you want to post to. And you can add any links if you would like. They come from that list that I showed you earlier. And you can also view your preview for the Pinterest post. Once everything looks good, you can either post it right away, save it for later, or you can choose one of these posting options. You can schedule it, and then you just set the schedule here. You could also send posts for approval, and you would schedule when it should be approved, and you can add a note if you would like. You can also add it to a category queue or schedule recurring posts. So if you want to post this multiple times, you do that as well, and you would set that here. I'm just going to save it for later and go back. And as you can see, it'll show up here. Under content, you can also view your posts by their content type. So CSV posts, any recurring posts, any posts for approval, any template library posts, and more. Under comments, you'll just be able to view any comments that were made on your social media posts, and you can filter through them by either all comments or top comments. You can search by word if there's specific kinds of comments you want to look for. You can look at the comments for all your accounts, or you can drill down into a specific account. Same thing with statistics. It shows you all the different statistics on your social media posts, like the number of posts, total likes, total followers, and more. If you scroll down, it has these different visuals for you. If you wanted to drill down into a specific social media account and just look at the statistics for that, you do that by just selecting the one that you want. And as you can see here, it'll only show you the statistics on the Instagram account, for example. If you go to social listening, this is going to show you all of the current social media trends. So it'll show you Google Trends, Pinterest keywords, and more if you scroll down. So you could also look at social media trends for different dates. We also have settings, where you could, of course, configure your settings for your social media accounts. This is where you'll manage all of your email marketing. So it first brings you to the statistics tab. It'll show you your engagement summary, your performance analysis, and your top performing emails. You can create a campaign by going to this campaigns tab. Any campaigns you make will show up here. But if you just wanted to create a new campaign, you would just press this new button. You can create one from scratch. You can create one using an email marketing template. I'm just going to use an email marketing template because that makes my life easier and we have all these to choose from. When you're browsing through the different templates, you could also browse by category. So if you specifically wanted a financial template, then it'll just do that. You can also save some for later if you would like. You can preview them. I like the look of this one, so I'll just choose this template. It'll bring you to this editor here. It'll show you a preview of your email campaigns in the middle. You can, of course, click into your elements and edit specific properties. If I don't like this logo, I can edit it. You can create an image using AI, or you could upload from your media library. You can also use our email AI over here if you wanted to have the AI help you in building the email campaign in any way. You could also use the email AI to assist you. If you press add elements, you can add elements to your email campaign. Let's say I wanted to add a frequently asked questions section here. You could then click into that, put different titles, edit all of that information here. Once everything looks good, you can preview, save, send, or schedule your send. And you would just include any information like the sender name, the sender email, the subject line of the email. You can add a preview text for the email, and you set the recipient. So you have these different options. You can choose contacts from the CRM. You can send to a smart list. You can choose contacts from tags. You have pre-built segments and built segments. I'm just going to choose contacts from the CRM. So you can do all contacts, or you can add a specific contact. And it'll tell you how many contacts you have selected. You can clear all of them. You can enable, which we recommend, track clicks, because this will allow you to discover which links were clicked, and you have your analytics for that. If you enable UTM tracking, this will allow you to add default UTM parameters to every link in the campaign. You also have the ability to automatically add tags to any contacts that this campaign was sent to, and you can enable resending the email to any contacts that hadn't opened it, and you just set when that resend email would be sent. Also over here, you can schedule when to send your post. We also have batch schedule, which is really nice for large email campaigns to reduce the amount of emails that get sent to spam, because this allows you to send your emails to large group contacts in drip mode. So you would just select the batch quantity. So let's say you want to do 5 contacts, and then you would repeat after 1 hour. You can set when you want it to send over here, and then you add all your recipients here. All those contacts would be selected, and then under batch details, it'll show you how the batch send will go. Since I only have 5 contacts selected, it's all just going to be sent in one batch anyway. So the one batch to 5 contacts on March 8th. But this is ideal if you have a large list of contacts you want to send to. And finally, you could just review and schedule, or for example, if you're doing this, you could review and send your emails, or you could just press save and come back to it later to send. You also have this templates tabs. This is where all of your custom-made templates will live. And you would edit the templates in the same way you would edit a campaign. We also have this automate marketing section of the CRM. So this is where all of your workflows are going to live. Workflows is a very powerful tool. It allows you to automate so many different processes. You can edit your workflows by pressing these three dots and pressing edit workflow. And under here, if you go into a workflow, you'll have all of these different triggers and actions. So here, the trigger would be that an opportunity was changed and they had the duplicate opportunity set to create duplicates. Then that would just trigger every time that someone wanted to duplicate an opportunity that they changed. You press these plus buttons here to add any actions. And there's so many different actions to choose from. You also have branching. So if you wanted to create an if-else statement and more. And then you can view your execution logs to see where that workflow may have been executed. You can see who is enrolled in that workflow over here. You can set any workflow settings over here and more. You can test the workflow. You can set it to be either a draft or you could publish it so that it's actually being used. And then you can just save any of your edits to that workflow here. We also have workflow templates that you could choose from. So let's say you wanted to select from a template and you wanted it to be a communication workflow. You can then choose one of these different recipes. And that's it for Automate Marketing. Under online stores and websites, you can manage your different landing pages, websites, online stores, webinars. You can look at any analytics for your different websites. You can create a blog, a WordPress. You can also create forms, which I'll be showing you, surveys. You have a client portal you can create, quizzes, chat widgets, QR codes. All of these different websites that you can create will follow the same format. So I'll just be showing you in one of them. Under landing pages, you can click into a specific landing page and it'll show you the different funnel steps in that landing page. And you can edit each of these different steps by pressing edit, and it'll show you that funnel. You can preview it in this little preview over here and click on any of the different elements to edit it. You can edit any general information or the styles or the animations. Say I want an entrance animation where it comes in from the left. You can adjust the animation accordingly. You have all these different options. You can also view what it would look like on a mobile phone so that you can ensure that your different websites are responsive. You can add elements over here. So let's say, for example, I wanted to add a pre-built section and I wanted a call to action. I can add that wherever I drag and drop it. You can change the different colors if you wanted them to be more customized. You can edit anything just like in the other editors that I was showing you. And once everything looks good, you can then preview it by pressing this little eye icon, or you can save it for later, or you can publish it. So then when you press publish, if you haven't connected your domain yet, you would just have to do that here, and then it'll publish. And as you can see, you can like quickly look through all of your different pages of your website by just clicking through these different funnel steps. And you can edit them from there. You could also create a variation if you would like, if you wanted to start a split test. That same format would apply to any of these other websites. For example, Muffler and Brake Shop. If you go into here, it'll show you the different pages, and then you can edit them and it'll bring you to that same editor I was showing you before. I also just wanted to show you the forms builder. It'll show you all of the past forms that you've created. You can add a form here. You can either add it from scratch or, of course, from templates. And then you can just browse through all of these different ready-made templates. Let's say I wanted to make a form for a catering service request. And it'll bring you to this editor, which is probably starting to look familiar to you, where you can add any elements. You can add object fields. Once your whole form looks good and everything is to your liking, you have this integrate option where you can embed or share the form or share it via email. You could also just save the form for later. So that's what I'm going to do. And under the form, you can also check any settings for that form, any submissions that were made under that form. And that's how you would create a form. You can analyze all your different forms under the Analyze tab. It'll show you total views, responses, the average time, completion rate, and it'll also give you a quick visual of your total views as well. And this will obviously start to populate with data once people actually fill out your forms. You can also view any specific submissions for those forms. And that's everything for the online stores and websites. If you go to Biz Review, this is basically where you can connect your Google business profile. And once that's connected, we could then view specific stats. There's also this competitor analysis where you can add up to 3 different competitors' Google business profiles. And then you can compare different things like your sentiment, for example, or your ratings with that business to see how you're doing and compared to other competitors. You have this tab to specifically look at your different reviews and more. Elements and portals is just where you can share any portals or learning management systems with your clients. So let's say your clients didn't want to put their invoices within the CRM, they could go to this link and then put it on their individual portal. We also have this file storage where you can upload any content that you might want to use in the CRM. You can also connect the file and storage to your Google Drive. Under management reports, you can create and look at or send different reports. So let's say I wanted to create a report from a template library. You would then just choose, so let's say I want a lead attribution report. It'll bring you to this editor where you can look at your reports. You can drag and drop your elements and move them around if you want your report layout to be a certain way. You can add different widgets or elements to your reports. You can also edit your specific elements. So let's say I didn't want this element to look like this and I wanted it to be a donut chart. Instead, I can then press save and then it will show up like a donut chart as you can see here. You could also set your report to pull data from the last 30 days or from a different kind of time window. And then you can choose to export your report. You can cancel any of your edits, you can save it, or you can send or schedule that report. So you can schedule, send it, and then you just set all of these fields here and then save and schedule. We also have dashboards here where you can look at your different Google Ads reports, Facebook Ads reports, attribution reports, call reports, agent reports, because this system also allows you to create different agents. So you can view reports on different, for example, opportunities, conversions, messages, emails, call metrics, efficiency of your agents. We also have appointment reports. So you can see how many appointments were booked, confirmed, canceled, etc. You have these charts down here, and that's how you would manage your reports here. We have this KPI section where you can look at a quick overview of the different key performance indicators for your business. There will be different charts which you could also edit by pressing Edit Dashboard. You can use quick filters to quickly filter through your KPIs if you would like. And we have an AI agents section. So if you go to Agent Studio, you can create and manage AI agents for your business. For example, if you want an AI-powered customer support, you could choose that. And then you can build out your AI agent here. You have different nodes to choose from, different flow control settings. You can set audio generation, image generation, and more. Once that agent looks good, you can deploy it or publish it. And so you can use these agents just so that you can focus on the processes that are more important to you and then let the AI handle the rest. We also have this Content AI tab, which will show you all of the different content that was created through the Content AI option that I was showing you earlier. And it will show you the total words generated, the cost, and the words per day. That way you can keep track of all of your Content AI. And that's about everything I wanted to show you for the Social CRM Anywhere software. I'm just going to pass the microphone back to Kevin, and I hope you have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed the demonstration performed by Sydney Pareco from Team AnyWare Apps. If you'd like to learn more about AnyWare Apps, please visit the website anywareapps.com or scan the QR code on the screen. There is more. If you'd like to reach out to me directly about AnyWare Apps, please send me an email, kevin@kerrconsulting.com, and I will be happy to coordinate a follow-up meeting with you and Team AnyWare Apps to talk about your business process automation, digitization needs, expectations, business requirements, and I'll make sure that AnyWare Apps team will also share more insights with you to address your requirements. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you for your interest, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the coming AnyWare Apps podcast episodes. Thank you, and have a great day.